Once upon a time, in a quaint little village nestled amidst rolling hills and lush greenery, there lived a group of children who often gathered around an old oak tree at the edge of the village square. They would sit there, exchanging stories and dreams, under the watchful eye of an elderly man known as Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins was a wise old soul, his face weathered by years of experience, yet his eyes sparkled with an undying zest for life. One sunny afternoon, as the children gathered around him, Mr. Jenkins began to speak about a profound lesson he had learned over the course of his lifetime.
Children,
He said, his voice carrying a gentle wisdom.
I want to share with you a valuable lesson that has guided me through the years. It's about the importance of not letting the opinions and judgments of others dictate your life.
The children listened intently as Mr. Jenkins continued.
You see, we often spend so much time worrying about what others think of us, trying to fit into their expectations and molds, that we forget to live for ourselves. But the truth is, each one of us is unique, with our own dreams, desires, and passions.
He paused for a moment, letting his words sink in before he continued.
So, my dear children, I urge you to stop caring what other people think. Stop seeking validation from others and start listening to your own heart. Do what makes you happy. Pursue your dreams with unwavering determination, for this is your life, and you alone have the power to shape it.
The children exchanged glances, a newfound sense of liberation dawning upon them. For the first time, they realized the weight of societal expectations that had been holding them back. One brave child, named Amir, spoke up.
But Mr. Jenkins, what if people laugh at us or disapprove of what we do?
Mr. Jenkins smiled warmly.
Ah, my dear Amir, the day you stop caring what other people think of you is the day your life truly begins. Embrace your uniqueness, let your light shine bright, and watch as the world unfolds before you in ways you never imagined possible.
From that day forth, the children vowed to live by Mr. Jenkins' words, to embrace their individuality and pursue their passions with courage and conviction. And as they ventured forth into the world, they carried with them the timeless wisdom of an old man who had taught them the true meaning of freedom, the freedom to be themselves, unapologetically and unabashedly.